Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here joining me today, all thousands of you across the world. Nice. Remember, we're streaming live on Rumble, rumble.com/coffee-nuance/live every day. We're on D Live and on YouTube, and on Twitch too. We got a good one today. All right, buckle up. Buckle up, because we got a Texas-sized legal showdown on our hands. The Lone Star State is putting up floating barriers in the Rio Grande to keep migrants from crossing over. And the Justice Department, they're not too happy about it. It's like a Texas staring contest, and nobody's backing down, you know? They say everything's bigger in Texas, and that includes their fight against illegal immigration. Now, Governor Abbott is standing firm, telling the feds, hey, don't mess with Texas. And I got to say, it's refreshing to see a politician with some gumption. He's like a cowboy John Wayne on border security. But the Justice Department is all like, oh no, you can't do that without permission. Come on, guys. It's not like they're building a theme park in the river, although Texas River Adventureland does have a nice ring to it. But here's the real kicker. The Biden administration is more upset about these barriers than a vegan at Franklin Barbecue in Austin. They're worried it's disrupting their Border Patrol operations. Well, if you can't handle a few floating barriers, maybe you're not cut out for the Wild West. So let's raise a glass to Texas, the land of big hats and big hearts and now big floating barriers. They're saying, don't mess with us, or you'll get a splash of your life. It's like they're creating a water-based Great Wall of Texas, and you got to admit, that's pretty darn creative. My name's Tom Coffee. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, best censored and commentary show live right now. Flame on. Okay. Whew. U.S. Department of Justice is suing the state of Texas over using floating barriers in the Rio Grande. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott has put these in to deter migrants from crossing into the state from Mexico. The Justice Department seeks an injunction to prevent Texas from building more barriers in the river and demands the removal of existing barriers at the state's expense. The lawsuit alleges that Texas violated federal law by constructing structures in U.S. water without authorization from the United States Army Corps of Engineers. Abbott's refused to remove the barriers, leading to a legal confrontation with the feds. The measure implemented by Abbott has drawn criticism from the Biden administration with concerns about their impact on U.S. Border Patrol operations and migrant safety. Abbott's office denied giving any orders that would endanger the lives of anyone attempting to cross the border illegally. So, to me, this is just a really stupid story. I try to look at this from both sides, but a state should be able to have a border, right? A state should be able to keep people from crossing their border illegally. And this was a cheaper, more efficient way of doing it by putting up these floating barriers. And then Biden's Department of Justice is using this excuse like, you can't put things like that in the water without our permission. And we don't want them there. We want millions of people coming across the border every year illegally. I keep hearing about how we don't have the resources to deal with all of the people crossing the border. We just release the people into the U.S. and tell them, okay, well, You know, you got a court date in 8 months or whatever it happens to be. And then a lot of those people don't even show up for it. They're just in the country. Well, if you got a nice floating barrier, you don't have to deal with that issue whatsoever. I don't get it, really. I really don't understand why the current administration is pushing so hard to make it so easy for people from all over the world to cross our southern border. I don't understand it. I don't. Maybe someone can explain it to me. But that is the main story today. And by the way, this is not the actual floating barrier. This is I guess an illustration of it. I liked it. It looked better than the pictures that I saw, so that's why I used this illustration, because I thought it was a little bit more clear as to what they're doing down there. But what do you think? Why are they pushing so hard to make it so easy for millions of people to cross the southern border? I don't understand it. We're defending the hell out of Ukraine's border, right? We're spending billions of dollars to defend their border. And if you look at who's coming into this country, right? It's mostly military-aged men that are crossing the southern border. Might consider that an invasion. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't get it. Maybe you can help me out. But I got a lot of stories to get to today. We're going to talk about the Bidens and some shifting definitions. And just more evidence that Joe's probably not going to actually be the candidate. More evidence of that. I want to give you an update on the Emmett Till monument, because I called it. I called it yesterday. We got some new news about a forest fire that the U.S. Forest Service finally is fessing up as to how it started. Got some European news and then some good news that involves Espresso. So you're going to like all of that. Anyway, let's get to the first story coming up. And we're talking about the Bidens. Hey, did you hear about the White House press secretary's new language to distance Biden from his son's business? It's like playing political Mad Libs. Do kids even know what Mad Libs are today anymore? Anyway, instead of saying they never discussed business, now they're just insisting that they were never in business together. It's like claiming you didn't eat the cake, you were just supervising its delicious disappearance. But hey, I guess when it comes to politics, word games are the new normal. Let's be honest, at this rate, we're going to need a whole new dictionary to keep up with all these denials. So here's the story. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is distancing President Biden from his son's business's dealings ahead of damaging testimony. Instead of denying discussions between them, she now says that they were never, quote, in business together. Hunter's friend is expected to testify. Biden previously denied discussing his son's business dealings. And he repeatedly denied discussing his son's business dealings, I don't know, dozens of times. So, yeah, we're updating that because turns out not exactly true. Not exactly true. But we all knew that, didn't we? We all knew he was lying when he said that. Now there's just some evidence. What do you think is going to come of this story? So many of these stories, it's kind of like the walls are closing in. This is going to do in Biden. And it never seems to. right? So this could just be more of the same. More of the same. You think there's no way he can possibly survive this scandal, but he always does. You know, so don't know. But that's a new one, though. He always claimed that he never discussed business with his son, and now it's like he was never in business with his son. I'm not sure what you call it when you're getting kickbacks. Aren't kickbacks being in business with someone? What do I know? Anyway, now I want to give you an update from something from yesterday. And boy, did I call it. Okay, so yesterday, what did I say would happen yesterday? What did I say would happen? Do you remember? Talking about the Emmett Till National Monument. So it was announced today. Biden announced it today. But I claimed that the reporting of this would not talk about the actual accusations of what Emmett Till did. Instead, it would be, he was killed for whistling at a white woman. I said that in yesterday's video. And, well, let's just go to today's New York Times and see how today's New York Times covered this story, shall we? Okay. So here's the title. Biden to create monument to Emmett Till amid fights over black history. Okay. The murder of 14-year-old Emmett Till and the activism of his grieving mother helped galvanize the civil rights movement in America. Well, that part's true, right? We can agree with that. But so this is written today, July 25th. It was published at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. So this is after my video yesterday when I said this is exactly what would happen. This is by Erica L. Green. Interesting. Now, this is not an opinion piece, by the way. This is listed under politics, right? This is listed under politics. Okay. So here's what Erica L. Green, reporting from Washington, had to say about this. President Biden on Tuesday will establish a national monument honoring Emmett Till, the black teenager who was abducted and killed by white supremacists in 1955, and his mother, Mamie Till Mobley, who helped galvanize the civil rights movement by bravely displaying her child's brutalized body for the world to see. Well, let's just look at just this first paragraph. He was abducted and killed by white supremacists? I didn't actually think that they would go this far. Was there any evidence at all that the guys that killed Emmett Till were white supremacists? Was there any evidence at all that they were? Because I've read the court case, and I didn't see that. Is that new information that Erica L. Green is giving us? Or is that opinion? Interesting. So next paragraph. The Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley, I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I'm unfamiliar with that name. National Monument will span 3 protected sites in Illinois, where Emmett was born in 82 years ago, and in Mississippi, where he was killed at the age of 14 after being accused of whistling at a white woman. Look at that. He was accused of whistling. And then these white supremacists came in and kidnapped him and murdered him because he whistled. Didn't I say that this is how it was going to be reported? Now, I didn't think it would be the New York Times that would be this egregious in the coverage of this. I thought they might have done a little bit better job of not giving you all the information. The president's decision to dedicate a monument to two figures whose story underscores the legacy of racism in America comes in the midst of a diverse political battle over how to teach black history in schools. And then it goes on to talk about Ron DeSantis, Florida, Texas, and anti-woke legislation. Here, Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, referenced Florida's new standards on Monday, saying the Till Monument was arriving at an important moment. Okay. She said it's in, let's not forget what we've seen these past several months as we've witnessed extreme officials in Florida and across the country lie about American history. The most recent example, shamefully promoting a lie that enslaved black people benefited from slavery, she said. Do you believe that? Okay. She said it's inaccurate, insulting, it's hurtful, and it prevents an honest account of our nation's history. So here in the same article, looking for an honest account of our nation's history, remember, he was killed by white supremacists for whistling at a woman. That's the honest, accurate history that we're talking about here. The Biden administration has invoked Emmett Till's death and her activism before. During a White House screening of the movie Till in February, Mr. Biden told the crowd that he chose the movie because, quote, history matters. And honestly, if you can find a movie, a documentary that is less based in reality than the movie Till, I would like to know what it is, because that one seems to be the biggest fairy tale that I've seen recently. It is so, I mean, I could go on for hours about how biased and inaccurate that movie was, but with all the reenactments that were just made up whole cloth, right? Just crazy. But anyway, that is the update. No mention in this article about any accused sexual assault or anything like that, which was the catalyst for Emmett Till's death. No mention of that. And now they were white supremacists as well. Okay. Well, that's the New York Times. That is, let's see, I can just scoot this down a little. Yeah, New York Times politics. So this is not opinion. This is how they present the facts. And if you don't believe me, I encourage you to do your own research. Now, they've told you, don't do your own research anymore. But if you do, and you find out that I'm lying to you, call me out. Call me out. It's not going to happen, but if this is how the New York Times reports things, it's pretty egregious, isn't it? Do you think you should ever just trust what the New York Times says? I mean, with this example here, I wonder if they're going to retract this story. I wonder if they're going to update it. I'll check in a week and see if they've updated this story. Spoiler alert, they totally won't. Anyway, let's get to some other U.S. federal government nonsense. Oh, I can't help but marvel at the U.S. Forest Service prescribed burn escapades in New Mexico. It's like they decided to throw a controlled bonfire party, and Mother Nature was like, hold my marshmallows, I got this. But you've got to hand it to them. They're the king of surprises. They kept the fire's origin a secret for over a year, as they were hoping the flames would forget. They were the ones who started the whole shebang. Fire? What fire? So here's the story. A Forest Service report revealed that the 2022 Cerro Pelado Fire in New Mexico was the third wildfire caused by a prescribed burn gone wrong that year. Strong winds reignited a controlled burn, sparking the blaze that charred over 46,000 acres. The fire destroyed structures and led to evacuations. The Forest Service is criticized for not detecting the holdover fire earlier and for the delay in revealing its cause. Now, new technology is now used to monitor burns and prevent future incidents. Supposedly, that's what we're supposed to believe. But yes, a year goes by and then they finally fess up as to, oh yeah, we were the ones that started this. Oops. What do you think all of the stories about this fire said the cause was? What do you think they were? What do you think they were? I'll check in the after show. So when the show's over, stick around after the music, and I'll go through your comments. But what do you think, if you were to go back and look, what the cause of this fire was? What were they blaming? They weren't blaming their own department, right? Their own controlled burn that started the fire. What do you think that was to blame? I'm gonna guess it rhymed with Blimet Blange. That's my guess. Yeah, we'll have to look into that one. But now let's check out a story from Europe. The EU is tackling range anxiety for electric vehicles, but knowing them, it's going to take them forever to install these charging stations. We'll turn it into a complicated mess, making us miss the good old gas stations. So here's the story. The Council of the EU has approved new regulations, more regulations, to make it easier for electric vehicle owners to travel across Europe and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The rules mandate that installation of fast charging stations along major highways simplify payment methods and ensure transparent pricing. The regulation is part of the, quote, Fit for 55 package, aiming to reduce emissions by 55% by 2030. EV charging infrastructure will be significantly improved to support the growing number of electric cars. So this is it, more regulations. And they're going to put in more charging stations. It looks like they're trying to do away with the internal combustion engine altogether. That's what it appears to me. And as far as electric cars go, have we really seen that it's better for the environment? I don't know. I'm open to the idea that these electric cars are better for the environment. I'm open to that idea. But where does the energy from the electric cars come from? Right? And if that energy is from fossil fuels, right? The entire globe is connected, right? So just because you have a power plant over on one side that's polluting, making the energy for the electric vehicle that then is not polluting, the pollution is still there? I don't know. Maybe I'm oversimplifying things. This is one of those topics that I really don't want to look into because I'm afraid of what I will learn. I am afraid that I will learn that perhaps electric vehicles are actually worse for the environment. I don't know, though. Do you know? Is this something that I should actually look into? Because, if I find out that that's the truth, it's really going to crush me. It's going to crush me, and it's going to be hard for me not to share that with other people. So, a lot of times we just kind of want to be, like, naive on purpose for these types of things. I don't know. What do you think? Should I look into this? Should we look into this? I think we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to. Anyway, we need some good news. Let's get to some good news. Espresso might do more than wake you up. It could fend off Alzheimer's. Now, forgetful coffee lovers, rejoice. Your daily jolt might be saving your brain one shot at a time. Cheers to memory protection in a cup. Here's the story. New research suggests that espresso coffee may have potential benefits for long-term alertness and could potentially inhibit tau protein aggregation, which is associated with the onset of Alzheimer's disease. In lab tests, compounds found in espresso were found to prevent the clumping of tau proteins into harmful fibrils. These shortened fibrils were not toxic to cells and did not act as seeds for further clumping. Both caffeine and the espresso extract were observed to bind to pre-formulated tau fibrils. Regular coffee consumption has been linked to reduced risk of various diseases and premature death thanks to its antioxidants and plant chemicals that dampen inflammation. While more research is needed, as always, the preliminary findings open up the possibility of designating bioactive compounds in espresso coffee that could protect against neurodegenerative diseases, including Alzheimer's. Wow. So again, this is one of those stories, big if true. We don't have enough information. I like it because it's some good news. We got to end on some good news. So perhaps this is true. You know, but most of these stories, they sound positive. Most of them there's no there. It doesn't actually end up being true. But, you know, we got to be optimistic about these things. And, you know, maybe you need yet another reason to drink more coffee, have some espresso. If it is true that it can fight off Alzheimer's, well, damn it, get me some more coffee, right? I'll err on the side of being cautious. But again, why do you think we never, you know, we hear so many stories about, oh, we've had preliminary things on this, and it may be, this good thing may happen, but we never seem to get the final report, do we? Why is that? Why do we never get the final report? I don't know. It's an interesting pattern I've noticed. But anyway, I'm still drinking coffee. I haven't heard that many bad news stories about coffee, and if I do see one, I just ignore that study, right? That's what we do. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Stick around for the after show. I'll be going through all your comments. And I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, with a big idea. Some psychological idea that may help you better understand the world or better understand yourself. So I'll see you tomorrow for that, and stick around for the after show. Till then, peace. Welcome to the after show, everyone. Look at that. Boy, you know, if you really want your comment to stand out, you need to be over there on Rumble. We got Doug042 checking in. Hola, Doug. Nice to see you every day. Thanks for joining us today, but that's all we got over there on Rumble. Yikes. No one's talking over on D Live either. So it is what it is. I guess that's what they say, right? Anyway, let's check it out. Lucid Moments, Natasha. Matthew Adams with a thumbs up. I don't recognize your handle there, so glad you're joining us today. Natasha says, I don't understand why crossing the southern border is so easy either. but I suspect it is for nefarious reasons. Perhaps. You know, I lived down in Las Cruces for a while. We'd cross the border often into Juarez. And in the 80s, the border was pretty much wide open. It was pretty much wide open. You could just cross the border. They didn't ask us for a passport. They didn't ask us for an ID. You would just cross the border. When you were coming back, they would just ask you. You just had to say, when you were coming back, they would say, "Are you American? Are you American?" You just had to say, "Yes, American." And that was it. No ID necessary, nothing. But different times. That was pre 9/11, you know. And even when we crossed over the river, you could see people just ferrying over on little like little rafts. There'd be a guy down there. I guess he made pretty good money at it. He had a little raft, and there was the river there by the border. It was cemented. It was a big cemented thing. It looked kind of like a big half pipe, I guess, from skateboarding. And he had a little raft, and with a rope, and people would get on the raft, and he would walk them across, like literally right under the bridge where the border was. So it used to be wide open. Now it's not at all. I don't know. I don't get it. Permission? We don't need no stinking permission. That's kind of what I agree. Doug says, I bet my comment was censored. Well, I'm not sure what comment that was because I didn't see it. So I don't censor comments on any of the platforms, but there is an automatic censorship by the powers that be. I have nothing to do with that. So I'm guessing your comment was censored, Doug, because I don't see a previous comment. Is Biden in cahoots with the cartel? I don't know. He is in cahoots with lots of folks, but he's not, quote, in business with them. That's right. That's funny. In cahoots, but not in business. I like that. Trafficking. Okay. Starting a fire. Oops. Starting a pandemic. Oops. Starting a recession. Oops. Starting a nuclear war. Oops. Yeah. Yikes. Lot about that. The homeless started it. Oh. Yeah. Exactly. Oversimplicity. I'm not sure what that is in regards to, Muggsy Spug, but there's a lot of oversimplicity indeed. Looking forward to the electric blackout during periods during the day or night. Yeah, that's true. Your power plant was actually the flame on when you explained it. Cute. That's funny. Naive on purpose means just being a Democrat. There's a little of that, but I think most people across the spectrum, across the political spectrum, are naive on purpose. It's not limited to Democrats, although there's a lot of Democrats that are naive on purpose. Google Ian Pilmer. Yes, the lithium mining and other resources used for batteries plus battery disposal is a washout. Okay. Check out how they manufacture the batteries for EVs. See, that's the thing is I don't want to look into this because I don't want to find out that electric vehicles might actually be worse. I don't want to find that out. But I can't help myself. I'm gonna have to look into it. Yikes. Oh man. And the thing is when you learn more, here's the truth, right? When you learn things that are outside the mainstream, I kind of, in many ways, regret learning about so many things that are outside the mainstream, because what it does is it alienates me from a lot of people. And I don't like that. I don't like being alienated from people. But if you know things to be true that the mainstream doesn't agree with, that's the result. It's tough. Let's see. Moderation, thank you. Drink the coffee black, no sugar. Sugar is very, very bad, says Natasha. I do not put any sugar in my coffee. I like it black. Occasionally, I will put a little cream in. Just, why not? Some new faces in the crowd today. Yeah, Apothecary John. There's a couple new people here today, so thanks for joining us today. Tom, noticed your Dostoevsky quote about talking nonsense, but nuance and nonsense are not the same thing. That is true. When I started this channel, I needed an about this channel, and I didn't know what to put, and I just put up one of my favorite Dostoevsky quotes, and I've never changed it. I probably should. I should probably have an about this channel where I talk about what I do on this channel. But that's one of those things. We do things and then we forget about it. Right? I use Rumble for others, but couldn't find you. Oh, Doug, you couldn't find me on Rumble. Well, I am. You can find me every day. If you just bookmark it, you can just go to the bookmark, rumble.com/coffeeandnuance/live. And my live stream will be there every day live. So if you want to watch live, just, let's see, do I have that? Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Yeah, rumble.com/coffeeandnuance/live. And bookmark it. Then that's the easiest way to find me. I know if you're watching this on a phone, it's tough to bookmark things on phone. I don't know how anybody watches this stuff on phones. I just must be such a boomer because I don't want to watch any videos on a phone. I'm like, well, I got a computer. I'll just watch it on the computer or on my TV, right? If I can watch it on a 55-inch TV, why wouldn't I watch it there rather than on my phone? But I guess maybe you're out and about in the world. I don't know. But I can't watch on the phone. That's tough for me. So the coffee is keeping me from being crazy. Bonus. Absolutely. I remember crossing the border 50 years ago, Doug says. Yeah, crossing the border was no big deal. No big deal. It did change the border in El Paso did change around the first Gulf War. That's when I noticed some change to the policy about crossing. The first Gulf War. Okay, Muggsy says, when I was little, had a little raft. Now I'm big. I got a big one now. Very nice. Very nice. Hashtag pool toys of immigration. Who is the loneliest billionaire? Elon Musk. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think how Elon Musk. I'd say Elon Musk. I think would be the funnier pronunciation on that. It's okay to be alienated from people. In fact, the word holy means separate, and it's honestly better to be separate. Okay. Sometimes it's tough, though. Muggsy says, am I on MySpace? Not on MySpace. But I do have a link tree in every description of every video, and you can go there and click on all the different social medias. Join me there. Anyway, thanks for sticking around, everyone, for the after show. I appreciate you more than you know, even though I say that all the time. Thanks for smashing that like button. And, I'll be back mañana with another show. But until then, have a beautiful day. Peace.